The world's only church led by a living prophet awoke today without one. Russell M. Nelson, president of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, has died at the age of 101. Nelson had marked his 101st birthday only weeks ago, a milestone that underscored the extraordinary span of his life. From pioneering heart surgery in the 20th century to leading a worldwide faith into the 21st. Nelson's story was extraordinary. Long before he became the spiritual leader of more than 17 million members worldwide, he was a world-renowned heart surgeon, one of the pioneers of open heart surgery, a man who literally held beating hearts in his hands. From the operating room to the pulpit, his life embodied the Mormon belief in a living prophet called from everyday life to do extraordinary things. For those of us who are not Mormon by faith, it's hard not to be struck by the drama of this moment. A faith that believes God still calls prophets, now preparing to follow a man who once sat on a state Supreme Court. Now, all eyes turn to Dallin H. Oaks. If Nelson was the surgeon prophet, Oaks would be the judge prophet. A former president of Brigham Young University and a justice of the Utah Supreme Court, he is, by long-standing tradition, the heir apparent. By that tradition, the choice of the next prophet is not really a choice at all. Since the late 19th century, the LDS Church has followed an unbroken pattern. When the president dies, the longest-serving apostle becomes his successor. Oaks, ordained an apostle in 1984, is now the senior member of the Quorum of the 12 Apostles. By precedent, he will be set apart as the next prophet, a process members see as divinely guided, but which also provides remarkable institutional stability. Before his decades of church leadership, Oaks clerked for U.S. Supreme Court Chief Justice Earl Warren, practiced law, and even served as a justice on the Utah Supreme Court. Legal scholars once thought he was destined for the nation's highest courts. Instead, he stepped away from the bench in 1984 to answer a different kind of call, one to apostleship in the LDS Church. For more than 40 years, Oaks has been a central voice on some of the Church's most challenging issues, from defending religious freedom to helping shape reforms around LGBTQ policy, including reversing a controversial ban on baptisms for children of same-sex couples. His style is measured and legalistic, cautious but willing to adjust course, a judge's instinct applied from the pulpit. The symbolism of this transition is striking. One prophet who saved lives with surgery, another who once enforced civil liberties from the bench. In most Christian traditions, leaders rise through seminaries or church hierarchies. In Mormonism, prophets emerge from the professions of the world, scientists, scholars, surgeons, and now a state Supreme Court justice who once weighed questions of parental rights, due process, and freedom of the press. For the LDS Church, staying relevant has never been optional. A faith that claims God still speaks cannot remain silent on the issues of the day. But that carries risk. Change too much, and God may appear arbitrary. Change too little, and the Church risks irrelevance. Nelson, the surgeon prophet, led through delicate reforms. Now Oaks, the judge prophet, is expected to take the mantle, balancing precedent and revelation in equal measure. And whatever you say about Mormonism, one thing is undeniable. It refuses to fade into the background. In a secular age, the faith is impossible to ignore and remains undeniably relevant. To stay up to date on the latest breaking news, subscribe to Breaking Through News on YouTube or at breakingthrough.com.